So this video is for artificial lash application, and we're going to go through the steps as if you're just arriving to work. So the first thing you do when you get there is wash your hands to get prepared for this service. So you wash hands, you wet them, you find your liquid hand soap, you wash your hands down to your wrist, the backs of your hands down to your wrist. You wash your fingers and you wash the back of your fingers. You wash between your fingers and your thumbs. You wash your fingertips and your nails. You wash your thumbs, wrists, all of that for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. And then you're going to rinse your hands thoroughly under that sink. You're going to identify like a disposable paper towel or clean towel to turn the water off. Dry your hands thoroughly, discard of the paper towels, and then of course you'll find your hand sanitizer, 70% ethyl alcohol, and then you're going to hand sanitize thoroughly. Once it's dry, you're going to make sure that you get your room equipment ready and set up for your lash application. So let's talk about that. The client's not here yet. This is what you're going to do ahead of time. You're going to disinfect your workstation, bed, and equipment using a disinfectant wipe and following the manufacturer's instructions. You're going to dispense products needed for the surface. And how you do that is you prepare disposable portion cups for each product with a portion of the product by opening the top of the container and ensuring the tip of the nozzle does not come into contact with a disposable portion cup or tray, or remove the product with a disinfected or clean single-use spatula. Close the lid to the product, set the portion cup or tray on the tray, and then place disposable table paper on the disinfected bed. So let's show you what we set up for the client before we go meet the client. So our station or tray here has on it a disposable cup with makeup remover in it. Of course, we have antiseptic. We have cotton rounds that are single-use and disposable. This is a lash application service, so we have those individual strip lashes, the lash glue. We have tweezers and small scissors. We have disposable mascara wands. We have paper towel, and we have, of course, disposable pair of gloves, many around, because we will be wearing gloves for this service. So let's go meet our client. Of course, we have clean hands when we meet our client, and we go through our client consultation. So we want to make sure that we greet and escort our client to the work area. We're going to assess the client's current style. We will determine the client's preferences and assess the client's needs. We will assess the client's skin by performing a skin analysis to ensure that there is no inflamed, infected, broken, raised, or swollen skin in the area that's to be worked on, or an open wound or sore in the area to be worked on, infection or infestation, i.e. lice, to prevent from safely performing the service. We will assess the client's consultation form for any medications and products used within the last 72 hours. We will consult on any known allergies. We will consult with the client on any facial surgeries within the last 3 months and if the client is under a physician's care. We will assess if the client is prone to cold sores or fever blisters. We will assess if the client has used exfoliating or lightening agents within the last 72 hours, like alpha hydroxy acids, beta hydroxy acids, hydroquinone, etc. We will assess facial injections within the last 3 weeks, such as Botox or hyaluronic fillers. If the client is free of all of these contraindications, you can proceed with the service. So we're going to get our client set up before we wash our hands. So we've got our drape on. Here's our lovely little client. We're going to put her headband on. And we want to make sure you just keep the hair out of the way because we're going to be working with, obviously, the lash area. We don't want her hair in her face or anything like that while we're working. Got that on. You could place a towel under her neck if you would like. Got a towel here, and I'm going to place her drape on. She doesn't have to undress or do anything like that for this service, just lashes. And once she's comfortable, you got everything set up, and then you have to do the official hand wash because we are going to be putting gloves on. So let's get our hands nice and clean for our girl. So we are going to wet our hands at the sink, and we are going to get that liquid hand soap out. We're going to rub our palms together with it. We're going to rub the back of our hands and all the way down to the wrist when we rub the front and the back. We're going to wash our fingers. We're going to wash between them. We are going to wash the backs of our fingers, our fingertips and nails. When we go between those fingers, we're going between our fingers and thumbs. We're going to wash our thumbs. We're going to wash our wrists. And then we're going to do a really good proper rinse. We are definitely washing for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. And then when we're done, we are going to find either a clean towel or a disposable paper towel to turn off the water with, dry, and then discard of those paper towels. And once your hands are dry, grab your hand sanitizer because you're going to put that on. And once your hands are dry, you're going to put your gloves on. But you guys can't see me, so this isn't going to work. I'm just trying to figure out this camera. Sorry, everybody. Maybe I can scoot her back a little bit. Ah! Not a professional videographer, clearly. And now we have the glare again. Okay, so let's put our gloves on. First thing that you want to do when your gloves are on is you want to remove her eye makeup. So the first thing we're going to do. So we are going to get one of our cotton rounds and, come on, glare. Makeup remover, and we are going to remove the makeup on her face. Give us a break, somebody. Thanks. And a good old glare. If you need to repeat this process, you can. Don't hesitate if you need to. Depending on what you've got going on, or if you need to get more off. What I'm going to do is dry it real quick because I just don't want my mannequin to be wet when I try to put these lashes on. But that is my mannequin. It is not a person. Just so you know, when you're working, I'm doing this dry so that I can get it nice and dry. Okay. And then I'm going to find one of my disposable mascara wands, and I'm going to comb through the lash. Once again, just making sure there's nothing in the way, the lashes aren't clumped together, everything's good to go. And you discard. So now the first thing to do with your lashes is you need to measure. You need to measure the strip lash length on your based on your client's eye size. So there is actually a right side and a left side in your kit. The short side goes to the inside of the nose. So you want to take the one that's got the short side into the nose. And if you want to do the right side first, that's fine, or left side, whatever you like to do. So what I'm going to do is just measure. I'm just measuring along the length of the lash. I'm just holding it up against the eye, no glue on it or anything, to just measure. And actually with our mannequin, it's almost identical to the length, so I really don't need to trim. But with this, I'm going to show you what I would do. So I'm going to pretend like it's a little bit too long, and what I would do is hold to where it's too long, if you can see that extra on top of my fingers, and then I would grab my scissors and then I would cut that off above my fingers. So I'm never going to cut the short side. I'm always going to cut the long side, which would be on the outside of the eye. I've measured and I'm trimming. Now you're going to go back and you're going to apply your glue because you know now that you have an accurate length. You also don't want to trim over the client's face because there's going to be a little piece of lash that falls off. And actually, guys, I'm sorry, I need to get a sip of water. I'm about to choke up. And that's from, I'm sure, talking and making a lot of videos. Okay. So what you're going to do is just hold that lash with your fingers, and you are going to apply the glue to the lash. And what you want to do is use a disposable applicator, get some glue out. And I like to say you're going to go corner to corner with the glue, but you don't want it too heavy or too thin. So just take your time. You don't want any globs of it. Not that it would be a problem if you had it. You know, it just might get messier on the client's eye. So take your time and just evenly apply it across that whole root of the lash strip. And then you can toss this because you're going to get a clean one for the other lash. And then you're going to grab your tweezers to hold the lash strip while you apply it. So you're just basically using tweezers as a way to apply, not to tweeze anything. So you're going to hold on to it, and you're going to come in here, and there's a glare, and you're going to play the short side in, and you're going to get it as close to the root of the lash as you possibly can, and then you're going to press the inner corner first, which is the short side, and then as you go along the lash, you can press towards the outer side. That's what you want to do to make it stick, and it looks absolutely gorgeous, but of course we have a glare. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And usually wait about 4 to 5 seconds just to make sure that it's adhering before you move on to the other side. And I'm just taking a little disposable Q-tip just to wipe a little bit with this little dot of glue, probably from my glove that got on her eye. And that needs to go in the trash. Okay, so we're moving on to the next one, and the first thing that we're going to do is measure it. Goodness gracious, glare. Arg. Sorry, y'all. Very frustrating when I want you to be able to see. Okay, so I've got the lash strip that would be for the left eye, and I'm going to measure first. So I'm bringing it over with my hands. There's no glue on it. I'm simply holding it. She's got her eye closed. I'm measuring from the length of the inside to the outside of her lashes, and I'm just going to show you. I would pretend that this is a little bit long. Whatever's long would be above my fingers, and then I would find my little scissors, and I would trim it. And once again, when you trim it off, you're trimming it away from your client so it doesn't fall on your client. Maybe you trim it over a paper towel on your tray. It's probably a great idea. And you're done with your scissors, and then you can then flip your lash over in your fingers to apply the glue, and you're going to use disposable glue with a disposable glue with a disposable applicator. So take a minute, and you're just going to evenly spread that glue from corner to corner, because we're going to press it down from corner to corner. You don't want it not to stick in one place. And then you're going to toss your little applicator guy, because he's single use. You're going to find your tweezers, and I usually hold somewhere around the middle. And then I'm going to take it to my client's eye, and we're going to line it up as close as we can to the root of her lash, and we're going to apply it. And remember, we're going to try to press in the inner corner first and work our way to the outer corner press, giving it a good 4 to 5 seconds. To stick. And she looks really good. And she's super happy. So we're going to let it stick. We're going to make sure it's there. We're going to let her open her eyes if she wants to, make sure that everything's really good. And then basically at this point, you're going to put your implements down for a second. We're going to talk to her about maintenance and any kind of aftercare, although these are single-use lash strips, really. So you can tell her like how when she washes her face, pretty much they're going to come off and they'll be done, and she can keep them and then put more glue on them if she wants, I guess, and add to it. It's up to her. So that's that, and then you're going to say thank you very much, remove all the stuff, and get her on her merry way. And then what you need to do is then clean up all of your stuff. So any single-use items will be tossed. We were doing that throughout the procedure. That stuff is gone. You're going to find your implements and you're going to place them in a closed container that is to be disinfected. You're going to take your towel, your headband, your drape, and you're going to put it in a closed container until laundered. You will then clean up your work area and station. So you're going to identify proper cleaning agent and read the manufacturer's directions. Follow the manufacturer's directions for mixing and usage. Wipe your workstation area with cleaning solution to remove debris. Identify disinfectant that is bactericidal, virucidal, and fungicidal, EPA approved for use in a salon setting. You will follow manufacturer's directions for mixing and or using appropriate aerosol disinfectant. You'll disinfect electrical equipment stored in a clean area separate from other implements. Then you're going to remove your gloves. You get to toss them, which I'm getting ready to do right now. And then you are going to wash your hands one final time. So wet the hands, liquid hand soap, under the sink, palms, back of the hands, all the way down to the wrist, fingers, back of the fingers, between the fingers and thumbs, nails and fingertips, wrists, thumbs, thoroughly wash, 20 to 30 second minimum. Once you have rinsed everything off, you're going to grab a disposable paper towel to turn off the water, dry everything, toss it, and finish up with a gorgeous hand sanitizer. And once you have done that, you are ready to move on to your next client or service. And that concludes your lash application.